welcome back, and if this is your first time, I'm Nicola, and welcome to your Healthy Happy Journey. You guys, can I let you in on a little secret? I love sweets, like so much. Cake, brownies, candy, ice cream, you name it, I love it. And everyone just assumes because I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner that I must avoid them. And that is absolutely incorrect. Guys, I'm an intuitive eater, meaning I can eat whatever I feel like. If I feel like a cookie, I'm gonna eat that cookie. If I feel like a lollipop, I'm gonna eat a lollipop. Whatever I'm craving at the moment, I'm gonna listen to my body because I truly believe my body will tell me exactly what I need. Now that doesn't mean that I'm gonna eat 50 cookies when I'm craving a cookie. It means that I'm gonna allow myself that cookie without guilt or shame behind it. That's a positive way to look at food. I'm allowing myself to have any of the foods that I want and I'm going to enjoy them. So today I thought it would be fun to give you some tips on how to best eat those sweets with being able to maintain your weight, or if weight loss is a goal of yours, losing that weight too. So I'm gonna make a recipe today with you guys, but I'm also gonna throw a few tips along the way. The first thing I wanna tell you is what I'm making, because it's my favorite. Ever since I was a little girl, you guys, this is the only thing I would ask for on my birthday. And it is, can you guess? I thought so, carrot cake. So it is my favorite thing in the whole wide world, and I'm so excited to make it. It's an original recipe of mine, and here's tip number one. I'm adding some protein to it. Guys, glucose is what is in sugar or carbohydrates. That spikes our blood sugar levels. And when we do that, that's where we have that crash or burn, fatigue, brain fog, weight gain in the midsection, all of those things. So here's your tip. Protein slows the metabolization of glucose down. So instead of your glucose shooting up like this when you have sugar, if there's protein attached to it, it slows it down and you won't see that big peak and then crash afterwards. So that's tip number one. So let's get started with the recipe and I'll throw some more tips along the way. So the first thing we're gonna do is take our carrots. Usually we need about 4 carrots. We're trying to get about a cup to a cup and a half of shredded carrots in the recipe. So we're just gonna chop these right up and then we're gonna throw them in the processor. Make it super simple. If you don't have a food processor, guys, don't go buy one. You can get shredded carrots at any grocery store. So we'll throw those bad boys in there. Don't miss any of them. Put the lid right on, and we're just gonna turn it on and shred. You want it to be a fine consistency. And remember, this is going in the cake, so you want it to be pretty fine. This is pretty good, so we're gonna leave it like this, and I'm just gonna put it in the bowl and set it aside, and then start working on the other ingredients. All right, so now that we have the carrots nice and finely chopped, we're just gonna add about 1 cup pecans to this and put it to the side for the very end. So we're just gonna dump them in. I like to buy the pecans already chopped because I'm pretty lazy in that regard. I don't wanna have to chop a bunch of pecans, but that should be enough. And then you'll just wanna save about 1/4 cup for later to just sprinkle on top of the actual cake itself. So we're gonna put that to the side. I'm gonna put my pecans back over here. And then we're gonna get our dry ingredients. One of my favorite brands is this Bob's Red Mill Paleo Baking Powder. It's just a really good combination of different types of grain-free flour. So I really, really like this brand. I cook with it a lot, so you'll see that on my recipes. I usually call for this. We're gonna do 1.5 cup of the Bob's. So just put that in there. I don't go crazy with like exact. If it's a little bit bigger, it's still gonna be okay. There we go. And then remember what I said about the protein. We always want to add protein with it. So if you're using another recipe, maybe it's not my recipe and it doesn't call for protein, a great tip is if this recipe calls for 1/2 cup of flour, you can substitute out 1/4 cup of protein powder. So then the recipe would be 1 1/4 cup of flour and 1/4 cup of protein powder. You're just changing that ratio. You don't have to worry about the liquids when you do it that way, so it makes it really, really easy to add protein. And remember, that's gonna help slow down the glucose and the absorption of the glucose. So we're gonna do 1/4 cup of this, and that's probably gonna be just about all of this. And I like to use vanilla protein, but get creative, you guys. There's snickerdoodle out there, chocolate if you wanted to throw it in there. I don't care, there's no rhyme or reason. That's where you get creative. A lot of this is very intuitive. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And this is just gonna help it kind of keep that moistness and like flakiness to the side. We're gonna do 1 full tablespoon of cinnamon. And I always like to do a little bit more because I love cinnamon in carrot cake. We're gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And then I like to add just a pinch of allspice. So I'll just put a little bit in my hand, not very much, guys. It's just meant to be a little pinch in there. I'll grab a fork and mix this all really well together. The cool thing about the protein too is that vanilla protein is gonna add a little bit of sweetness to the cake. So that allows me to then get to my tip number 2, which is, guys, you can definitely use less sugar. It's not gonna change the recipe. A lot of people think it changes it. It really doesn't. Recipes for carrot cake usually call for like a cup of sugar. We're gonna use 1/4 cup, that's it. So mix that real well. We're gonna put it to the side for later. And I'm gonna cover these because I'm the world's clumsiest person and that would spill. And then we're gonna get to our wet ingredients, which is gonna be the eggs, the ghee. I like to let my ghee just sit out on the counter to get nice and soft. And we're just gonna do 1/4 cup of ghee. We can use our finger to just get that out so it's real nice and soft there. And I go a little over the spoon because I love butter and I love the taste of butter in my baking. And then we're gonna do 1/4 cup sugar. And then another tip for you guys is when you're wanting to reduce sugar intake, we can use things like maple syrup or dates. And that's another way to reduce the sugar. So instead of doing a full cup of the sugar, I'm gonna do 1/4 cup of sugar, the ghee, which will keep it creamy and rich, and then I'm actually gonna do 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. So let me grab that. And again, this is just gonna get everything nice and sweet. And then we're gonna let that mix before we add the egg to it. So just on low, once it kind of is starting to combine, we can really speed it up. Love it. It's gonna be so good, you guys. Comment below, I wanna know what your favorite cake is. The only memory I have is of carrot cake as a kid, and I would love to know what yours is. So once that is really well mixed together, we're gonna add 4 eggs to it. Eggs is another big one that you guys can add because the eggs are gonna make things fluffy, right? So that can be another way in which you get some of that liquid ingredient content high so that your ratios are really, really well balanced. Okay, so we'll mix that up. Once this is really stirred well, we're gonna then start to slowly add the dry ingredients. We're gonna fold the carrots and pecans in later, but to start, we'll do this. And I like to add about a half a cup at a time, just so that my ingredients have a chance to really blend well. I do the first one with that up, and then the rest of the time I'll put it in together. You may need to use a spatula to get the sides down to make sure everything's blending well. Sometimes with the ghee it will kind of stick. You guys could smell this because it legit smells like heaven right now. Oh my goodness. And then for the last little bit, just so I don't make a mess, because I told you I'm so clumsy, I just want to do that. And then we're going to want to really blend it well. It should be like a nice, not super dry, not super liquidy mix. And that's the consistency we're looking for. I'll show you in a second. And then we know that we can add in the carrots and pecans. If it's drier, you could add maybe another tablespoon of the maple. If it's too wet, you could add just a little bit, a tablespoon at a time of the baking flour. Oh yeah, that looks so creamy. Look at that. Oh my God, you guys, I can't even right now. Let me grab a spatula. And we're ready to get this going. It looks so good. Oh, I can't wait. I like to let it sit just a little bit. So before I preheat the oven, I let it sit while the oven's preheating. So I'm gonna turn the oven on. You guys wanna bake it at about 325 or 350 depending on your oven. My oven tends to be pretty hot, so I like to do it at 325. So while that preheats, we're gonna slowly mix in the carrots and pecans. And the reason I let it sit is there's air trapped in that, and I want it to stay kind of trapped, but I also want some of it to disperse just slightly so that when I lay it down in the pan, it allows for that moistness and kind of flakiness of the batter. So I usually will just let that sit for a minute. A 325 preheat usually only takes about 3 or 4 minutes. So in that time, I'm gonna let this sit for a second. I'm gonna take my glass pan that I'm gonna put my carrot cake into, and I'm gonna just grab some avocado oil. Again, I'm super lazy, so I just usually spray it down with avocado oil. Primal Kitchen is my favorite brand, you guys, with this. It's super, super good, simple, great for like cooking veggies and all that stuff too. All right, so this is allowed to kind of sit. You can see it's super fluffy in there. See all that air trapped in there? That's what we're looking for. We want it to look really, really kind of decadent like that. So we're gonna add in our pecans and carrots. Just throw that in there. And we're gonna mix it all in. And again, it's about a cup to a half a cup, depending on how much carrot you like in it. I love carrots, so I put quite a bit. I usually do about a 1 and 1/2 cup, and then a cup of the pecans. Oh yeah, that's gonna be so yummy. And then we're just gonna throw it in to our greased up pan. 325 for about 30 minutes, guys. Just depending on how long it takes in your oven. Again, if your oven's super hot, it might be maybe only 25 minutes. If it's a little bit slower of a cooker, then maybe 35, 40 minutes. Cheat sheet, you just put a knife in there. If it comes out smooth, you're good to go. So we're gonna put this in the oven once it's preheated, and then we're gonna make some icing up next. All right, you guys, while that yummy, delicious carrot cake bakes in the oven, we are gonna make the cream cheese topping. Now, I like to make mine dairy-free because I'm a little sensitive to dairy, but for those of you that aren't affected by dairy, you can use a regular cream cheese. It's super simple, there's not a lot of ingredients. We're gonna take 1/4 cup of powdered sugar into a bowl, 8 ounces of cream cheese. I'm using dairy-free, but you can use regular, cream cheese. Put that bad boy right up in there. 3 tablespoons of softened ghee or butter, whichever you prefer. And then I like to use coconut milk because I feel like it makes it really thick. You could use heavy whipping cream too if dairy is not a problem. And we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of that as well. Now you may need to add more ingredients. If it's wetter, you can add more powdered sugar, or if it's a little bit thicker, you can add more of the milk. And we're really just looking for a nice frosting type mixture there. So really nice and creamy. That is perfect. I don't think we need to add any more to it. I think it's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna sneak some since I spilled it all over myself. It tastes so good. Oh my God, I can't wait to put it on top of you guys. So we'll just wait for that to bake and then we'll top it. All right, you guys, it's done. I literally ate the rest of the cake and only left this piece for you guys. Just kidding, I didn't, I swear. But I'm so excited to taste it. I hope you enjoyed cooking with me and my tips, and I will see you next time. Make sure you like, comment, let me know if you guys want to see more recipes. I love creating recipes, what kind of recipes you want to see, all that good stuff. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button so we can see each other next time. Have a good day. Oh.